a Playlyst original.
Welcome to the Pilot Podcast,
where we review the pilot episodes of TV shows to answer your question, should I watch this?
My name is Mitu.
And my name is BJ.
And this week we're watching Tyler Perry's Beauty in Black on Netflix.
So stay tuned to find out when Mitu's going to start her hair care empire.
Wow. Yeah, let's stay tuned for that.
Wigs, relaxers, brushes, gels, conditioners, the whole thing.
I don't use all of those products. I don't think I'm anyone's ideal for caring for your hair. I kind of just wash and condition every week, but we'll see. I'll come up with a really good entrepreneurial idea by the end of this.
While you think about that, how about you tell us what happens in this series?
Kimmie, played by Taylor Polidor Williams, chose the wrong airport to get in trouble and finds herself trapped in a cycle of sex work. Kimmie then crosses paths with beauty mega entrepreneur Mallory, played by Crystal Stewart, and gets caught up in the drama of a wealthy, dysfunctional family behind a cosmetics dynasty and a devious trafficking scheme.
So me too. We have seen our fair share of Tyler Perry shows and films, and I have to say, this fits in with his catalog of productions.
Yes. I did not realize this was a Tyler Perry production, but not 30 seconds in to the dialogue did I go, oh, is this Tyler? And then I looked it up because it was just immediately clear. You can really hear his voice when you watch these shows, and this one, it rings clear. This is his first TVMA show, I believe. So it rang clear with lots of cuss words and nudity, but it was still very much a TP production, which means, lovingly, there were some questions I had about the plot.
Such as?
In the description of the show, we learn that Kimmie and Mallory cross paths, which is what I just said. We don't, in fact, see it in this first episode, and I wish instead of spending nearly an hour, 45 minutes on backstory, we would have seen how they cross paths in this first episode.
I agree. The whole premise is that their lives are going to become involved somehow, and yet we spent this whole episode focusing mostly on Kimmie's backstory and the struggle she's going through right now.
Lots of struggle.
A whole life of struggle. And we only see glimpses of Mallory's life. So I feel like they oversold and underdelivered.
Yes. And then I didn't understand a lot of the choices Kimmie made. I also didn't know there were co-ed strip clubs. I hadn't heard of that. So that was an interesting thing to witness. And then it felt very Tyler Perry because one thing that I would say that he does, and I think a lot of people agree, is that women in his productions tend to be struggling. As we said, Kimmie's life has been defined by struggle. So there's even a line of dialogue with her friend where the friend goes, "We hoes, and that's all we gonna be." And it just, it's just a lot to take in.
It can be tough to watch. He takes advantage of that MA rating to really show how everyone in Kimmie's life, except for her friend Rain, to some extent, is trying to drag her down, beat her down, push her down, berate her. And like you said, some of her decisions, it's like, Kimmie, you're going down that dark path when you do have other options.
Yes. I mean, even her pimp says, "I chose you because you're smarter than most of my hoes."
That's a lie.
That's true, because specifically in the work that she does at the strip club and in the work she does servicing the pimp's clients, she actually does not make a lot of great decisions. We see her do some really ill-advised things.
Mm-hmm. And she's constantly telling Rain, "I don't want to do this."
That's another plot question I have. So we learn vaguely, this is a very light spoiler, that the reason that they are trapped in this cycle is because they were caught by this powerful pimp trying to sell drugs, maybe, or traffic drugs through the airport in Chicago, where famously weed is legal. So not sure what they were trafficking or how much. But in order to not go to jail, as they say on the show, they instead allow this man to hire them and work in his strip club. It seems like he has a connection to the strip club as well as in sex work with some of his clients. My question is, it feels like they're going to do this forever. Kimmie was like, they take all of our money, but we just can't go to jail. We can't go to jail. How much worse is like, I don't know, whatever time they would spend in jail versus what seems like they're looking at years of a lifestyle that both of them really hate. And we learn for one of them is pretty dangerous for their physical health. I just didn't get the trade-off. And part of it is Tyler didn't tell us what drugs, what's the stakes. Like, we don't understand the stakes, but I don't get, as the viewer, why you wouldn't choose jail.
Right. They talk around that crime a lot. Just mentioning, like, we can't go back to the airport. Remember what happened in the airport? And it's like, if we knew how many years in jail they would face, it would give us the context to maybe understand why they chose Jules and the strip club and the sex work. Maybe.
And a staff at the strip club that all they do is just yell at Kimmie.
Specifically Kimmie. Everyone hates Kimmie.
Everyone yells at Kimmie.
And people are now threatening Kimmie's life. That's something I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Jail is dangerous.
Yes.
I'm not going to deny that. I feel like it would be safer relative to Jules and all of his people threatening Kimmie's life.
Yes. One of the clients that Jules connects Kimmie with is a very unstable man. We see him with drugs. Tyler Perry loves to use drugs as a vehicle to show someone's instability.
Lots of drugs on the table.
Lots of drugs on the table, lots of different kinds of drugs. And so we know that this is a guy that's hard to please. He talks in circles. Kimmie can't really understand him. He's unhappy with her, but it's hard to just literally keep up with his line of thinking. And so the pimp, that is when he told Kimmie, I chose you because you're smarter than most of my hoes to service this guy. But he also said, if you leave this man unhappy, I will kill you and dump you in Lake Michigan. And so it's like, okay, so at that point, where is our sort of like cost benefit analysis of continuing to be with this guy versus like the jail time? Because they keep mentioning jail rather than prison, but jail or prison time related to like a drug offense. Also, Kimmie and Rain don't seem like particularly well-resourced people. So I just can't fathom how much drugs they had on them at the airport.
Well, Kimmie does come up with an escape plan. She enters her name to win a scholarship to beauty school.
Yes. I thought that's how she and Mallory were going to cross paths.
You would think, because Mallory is giving out those scholarships. It was like, okay, they're going to meet maybe at the beauty school. Kimmie's going to get into that industry. Maybe they'll start working together. No.
Spoiler,
maybe.
That's not how it happens.
But not in this pilot.
No. We do not see them interact in this pilot.
They have not met yet.
No.
Well, no. That's all I'll say.
So that's the thing with Tyler Perry's storytelling that is a little bit difficult for me, is like the lack of nuance of the characters. They're either mean or they're like very innocent. And then this kind of like beating up of women, I guess both like emotionally and physically.
Any way you can.
And we see that a little bit with Mallory too. We don't get into her story too much. But I find, again, in a lot of TP productions, when a woman is like a business person first, she is also likely mean.
She doesn't like babies.
She don't like babies. So Mallory is fitting that trope.
Tyler Perry has his character structures that he incorporates in all of his productions. And it's very distinctive to his voice. It can be frustrating to see the same type of women portrayed, because I think Kimmie, at least because we haven't seen enough of Mallory, but Kimmie is likable. You
Mhm.
feel bad for her. You want her to do better. But also, Tyler Perry has written this world such that it's a uphill, like 89-degree hill that she's trying to climb.
What I will say is shout out to the actor playing Kimmie. I think as much as she could with some of this story, I feel like she brought a really good performance. Truly.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
I think she delivered some subtlety where there wasn't subtlety in like dialogue or story. She allowed some really subtle things to play across her face, holding back tears, things like that to kind of pull at the heartstrings or bring you into the show a bit more. So I thought she did a really beautiful job, especially given the larger context of where she was playing as an actor.
And another great performance, there's a guest appearance from one of your favorites, T.S. Madison.
Yes. T.S. Madison, we will not give away what she does in this episode, but if you do watch, I would say that she has a really good kind of almost creepy scene, the way she acts it. And it made me think I really want to see T.S. Madison in a horror production. I wouldn't watch it because I can't watch scary things, but I bet it'd be really good.
You just want to hear about her in a creepy role.
Yes, and I would read the summary. I do go on themoviespoiler.com and I'll read the plots of what appear to be interesting horror movies. So I would support it that way.
Well, you heard it here first. T.S. Madison, go audition for a horror movie and Me Too will read about it.
And encourage people to watch.
She'll support you.
Yeah.
Okay, Me Too. What would you rate Beauty in Black on Netflix?
I don't think I would watch this one again. With love to the folks who recommended this show, for me, I watch TP Productions, or as they call it on the new Chitlin circuit, the TPU, the Tyler Perry universe.
You're in it.
I watch The Oval. I think there are some where they're so soapy, so over the top that it's like funny and fun to watch. This one to me just didn't quite reach that point where it was so over the top that it's like fun and funny, but rather it was just kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not in a place for like a sad thing. I didn't want to watch another person yell at Kimmie, and I can tell that we're going to do a lot of yelling at Kimmie for the rest of the season. So I think this is my stop, unless you are a wonderful listener. If you plan to watch a couple more episodes, you can email us at askthepilotpodcast@gmail.com. You let us know if we should tune back in, if I should tune back in.
No, it's we. I also personally would not watch again. I would recommend this as like a casual show for people who like a darker, mature drama.
Mm.
Similarly, I'm just not at a place where I want to watch someone struggle and have like the world against them. But if you don't mind that type of plot and you're willing to wait it out and see how Kimmie overcomes these struggles, I think it is worth watching.
And wait it out to understand how Kimmie and Mallory cross paths, because we have not gotten to the plot, like the show description yet.
Hopefully by episode 2, right?
I hope.
Well, in the meantime, let's go over your business plan for your hair care empire. Tell us about it.
Okay, my hair care empire idea, please feel free to steal it and make it, is to just have a simplified hair care routine for people who don't really like to do their hair like me, where
Okay.
it's just like, maybe you sell it in a pack, so it's like enough for if people do their hair. Like I tend to do a bigger wash day on Sundays, and then like sometimes I'll refresh my hair on Wednesdays. So you sell it in a little pack. So like almost like a pill pack where you have the shampoo, conditioner, deep conditioner, whatever you have going on, that goes in one little slot, and then so on. So it's like I can plan my hair care for the week and not have to remember what I'm doing.
Like pre-portioned.
Yes, pre-portioned dollops of like whatever needs to go in my head. And then also paste in a way that makes sense for my hair, because my very lovely friend made me a hair care schedule. And the way I know how to follow it is I just wrote it down in my phone. And then I just look at my phone every Sunday to be like, okay, this is the week I use Sacred, or this is the week I use the other thing. Like, that is how I do my hair. But if someone could like pack that, maybe make a deal with like a bunch of different hair care distributors, so then you don't have to stick to one product, because I don't use one brand.
So you could customize the products.
Yes.
And your business pre-portions them, and you like tell them your schedule. So it's like pillbox or like advent calendar style.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's Wednesday. I don't have to think about what I'm using. It's just what's already there.
Give me my little dollop of Cantu or whatever. Yes.
I think there's a market for that.
Okay, somebody invent that. Please, like, make it if it doesn't exist. Or if it does exist, again, email us, askthepilotpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know.
What's that term? Direct to consumer? This
yes.
is like an online business. Yeah.
DTC me.
Well, if you want to DTC other things, you can find out at thepilotpodcast.com, and you can follow us on all your favorite podcast platforms.
You can also follow us on social media at The Pilot Pod, and you can send thoughts, feelings, show recommendations, because every other week, just like this one, we do a show recommended by you, our wonderful listeners, to askthepilotpodcast@gmail.com. Ooh, and email us your favorite TP productions. I'm talking plays, movies, shows. Let's chat TP. Thanks for listening.
Bye.